had an exciting, fun, and safe long holiday weekend. And I have a dear friend with me, Mike, who has been on the call with us a couple weeks ago, and he is here to show us the open house strategy. Mike has been currently on the ground, boots on the ground, as a real estate agent, and doing very well. And he also is a accredited coach for a very long period of time. Lived in Hawaii for a long time, and now is back in the well, I can't say back in the U.S. He's you know, Mike, I totally forgot where you're at right now. Actually,
Atlanta. I'm in Atlanta.
Atlanta.
Today.
That's right. That's right. Hey, we're having our company event down in Savannah, Georgia, so we'll have to get together.
Great.
I'll fly to Atlanta and we'll maybe have lunch or something. So, all right, Mike, I'm gonna let you take it away. I appreciate you being here, and let's show us what you got, man.
Great. Hey, guys, this is, Mike Stott from Your Coaching Matters, and, thrilled to be talking to the couple of hundred of you on the Agent Mastermind call. Just notes, if you have a question in your control panel, you should be able to ask questions, and Scott will get them through. But today's it's sort of just a fun day. No sales pitch, no anything. We're just going to talk about open houses. And, for those of you that don't know, I got my real estate license in 1980. I'm 52 now. I was one of the youngest people ever. I got my license 5 days after I turned 18, and I got my broker's license 2 days after I turned 20. So definitely like among the youngest real estate agents or brokers. And I've sold real estate in high volume all across Hawaii for 25 years. We moved to Atlanta 8 years ago. I worked with Mike Ferry for about 3 years. And then I've been actively selling and real estate coaching for the last 5 years. And I have to tell you, open houses were never my favorite thing. And what happened was, as we were preparing to go to work for Mike Ferry, my sister, who's a great real estate agent, still in Kailua, Hawaii, if you ever have a referral, send it to her. She came back, and she and her husband were going to buy Donna and I out from the Stott team. And they were there a year and a half early. And she came back, and her favorite source of business was open houses. And we actually went through, and I said, I can't stand open houses. She said, I love open houses. And we held the same 6 houses open over a period of 12 weeks. So she would do them 1 week, I would do them the next week. We'd go back and forth, we'd switch, we'd do all sorts of things. And she made 4 deals in those 12 weeks, and I made 0. And so I had to re-examine what I thought was important about open houses and why she got it to work and I didn't get it to work, if that's fair enough to say.
Absolutely.
And it's very strange to see, she's obviously smarter and better looking and a little bit younger than I am, but she had moved back to Hawaii and did not have the network, did not know everybody, had not been selling 150 homes a year for 20 years in Hawaii, and I should have done better than her. But her attitude and her expectations set up her results. And conversely, my attitude and my expectations set up my 0 results. So what we want to do today is maybe have you become more interested in a different thought about open houses. Now, some of you on the call love open houses. Some of you on the call hate open houses. Most of us are somewhere in between. So, but consider this. In the world of email, Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, SlideDial, and all the non-personal forms of communication, here's a chance to meet people face to face. Shake their hands. As Tom Hopkins and Floyd Wickman used to say, get belly to belly with people. Okay, and see their reactions and bond. And here's what I know. Not a single person on this call would claim that they sell better over email than they do face-to-face.
No question.
Every one of us, our natural enthusiasm, our energy, our love for what we do shines through more when we're face-to-face. So consider that. Then the next question, if we accept this is true, that we get a chance to meet people face-to-face, it's how do we maximize this time and this work? So here's what we know. In many parts of the country, we're back above the 2007 peak levels. Not all parts of the country, but in many parts of the country, we are having bidding wars. We're having listings stay on the market. We're in sellers markets. And we have buyers that are frantically looking for homes. They actively search out listings online. I have a buyer that wants a particular home in a particular high school district. He wants a certain number of square feet in a flat yard with a basement, which is hard to find in Atlanta. He put an offer in on a house that we really liked. We went in $35,000 over the 305 asking price. We were one of 17 offers and did not get the home.
Wow, unbelievable.
Okay, so when we have, and every day I talk to people in Dallas and in Denver and Las Vegas and Florida and California and Oregon, where we are seeing strong sellers market. So the buyers today are forced to look online and forced to contact the FSBOs unless they're working with a really good agent. They aggressively shop the swelled ranks of the for sale by owners. We know that. They spend their weekends doing home shopping and legwork because many times they don't trust that their agent's working for them. Many times the agents aren't. That's the sad truth. They're attending open houses in droves. As I'm talking across the country, we are having more people attend open houses than in the last 5, 6, 7, 8 years. When a do-it-yourself home shopper drops into your open house, you can safely bet on two things. They're serious about finding a house for sale, and an agent doesn't represent them. In other words, they're a great buyer prospect. They're a high-touch opportunity in our high-tech world. Okay, so just think about frantic buyers, and you're getting a chance to show them you're a different sort of agent. So I came up with 20 tips towards an effective open house. Actually, it was my wife and I, and borrowed heavily from my sister Tracy in Hawaii. If you're a new agent, what I would suggest is go to an experienced agent and say, I would be willing to host an open house for you. Okay? If you're an experienced agent, I would look at your listings and see which one is the best priced in a well-trafficked house area. Okay? If you have to bargain with yourself or with another agent, price is more important than traffic. And the best open house you can have is new on the market and in really crisp, clean condition, because the buyer won't have anything to complain about when they come in. Okay? Step number 2, prepare the seller for the open house. Give them a call. Tell them what you're going to be doing, and you're going to hear a lot of things to do before the open house, that you expect them to have the house neat and clean, and that you want them gone. Here in Atlanta, people hold open houses 1 to 4, or 2 to 5, or 2 to 4 on Sunday afternoons and occasionally on Saturdays. Tell them you're going to be there 15 minutes early and you want them gone, the kids gone, the dog's gone, all that sort of stuff. Prepare them for what you're going to do. Okay? In some parts of the country, they're having great success hosting an evening open house on a Thursday evening or a Friday evening. So consider that. Saturday morning, Saturday afternoon, Sunday afternoon, consider those also. Just a thought. The only Sundays that are bad for open house, Super Bowl Sunday, Christmas, and New Year's if it happens to fall on a Sunday, and Mother's Day. For some reason, Father's Day is a good day for open houses. Go figure. Okay, prepare a buyer's package for the buyers that are going to come by. Take your plat map. Get your tax information. Get a sheet from a lender showing what it's going to take to buy this house under several different plans. Your standard fact sheet. Any disclosures that the seller have. Consider putting them together in a little booklet, a little 3-ring binder. They cost about $1 each at Costco. Not a big deal. Or you can get if you have the binding machines, you could prepare one. Or remember those old school reports where you take that long piece of plastic and slide it over the 2 clear pieces of plastic. Make something that looks nice. Bring fact sheets that also include the market stats. Know what else is going on in the neighborhood. Do a full printout for every active and recent sale. Okay? We strongly recommend that on the active listings, you go and preview them in advance and talk to those listing agents. Okay? Have those comps ready to be shown right after your open house or even during your open house if you have a partner with you. So call the other agents. I'm holding an open house. If a buyer doesn't like this house but might like yours, could I show it between 5 and 5:30 on Sunday afternoon? Okay? Or a partner. Be sure to call them up, at 4:45. Hey, look, we didn't have any buyers that weren't interested in this house. We're not going to be showing the house. So those are points number 1, 2, and 3. Point number 4, know the advantages of buying right now and the financing options available on this home. Low interest rates, tax advantages, and possible higher prices make this a great time to buy. I'm going to skip out for a second. I'm going to show you guys. I just prepared a little interest calculator. So if a house was $300,000 and the interest rates went from 3.75% to 4.5%, that changes the principal and interest payment by $131 a month. Doesn't sound like a lot, but over 360 payments or 30 years, that's $47,000. And in fact, the $300,000 house would have to lower $28,224 down to $272 in order to equal the change in the principal and interest payment.
Unbelievable.
How crazy is that?
It's crazy, man.
Okay,
I love this right here. This is great.
Yeah, so here's what's even better. What if the interest rates go to 5%? We're talking the house has to drop almost 16%. And if you're at 4% today, that 1% would have to equal a 12% drop. Scott, what I will do is I will send you this little spreadsheet if you can send it out to everybody. Is that fair?
Yeah, what I'll do is I'll make it available with the recording and the PowerPoint underneath the link. Like I'll put a link underneath the recording. So just get with with your sponsor and you get a hold of you can get all this stuff.
Great.
Awesome.
I mean, it's just something that you guys need to be able to be conversant with, because even a 0.25% rise in interest means the house would have to drop $9,000 in value to equal that $44 a month difference. It's crazy, but it's just numbers, and you guys need to use the numbers. Now, the formula is fairly complicated, but you don't have to do that. I tried to make it, fill in the loan amount, fill in the current interest rate, fill in the future interest rate, and everything else is automatic. So we'll send that to you guys just as a gift for being here today. But can you see how if you were with a buyer that's sitting on the fence saying, well, we're in no rush, well, you might want to be in a little bit more of a rush. What have the interest rates done in the last, 2 weeks? They've gone up 1/4 to 1/2 point. Okay? Ask your lender to go ahead.
So you actually could say time is money.
Oh, absolutely.
Like we're no rush. Well, let me just show you something real quick. Yeah, just in case.
And again, I tend to be obnoxious and sarcastic by nature, so I really have to soften things by asking questions. And so rather than just saying, you're an idiot, what are you thinking about? Just say, hey, have you considered what the potential rise in interest rates might do to your monthly payment and affordability of the house? And you pop that thing out and you show them, whoo, it's right there. Okay, get a lender to sit with you if possible. I have 2 or 3 lenders that I really like that provide me financing sheets. And, some of them want to sit and meet people. They're willing to do that. They'll buy refreshments. Just something to think about. Okay, I like this idea. Create a bulletin board. Go to IKEA or Home Depot and buy a bulletin board and post pictures of the house throughout the year or different events that they've had at the house. So, here in Atlanta, it will snow once every 5 years, but some of the houses look incredible when it's all white and snow. And so you might have that, and then you picture in the spring when the roses are out, and then in the summer when the kids are in the pool. You can put a lot of pictures there that will emotionally sell or appeal to the different buyers. This is especially helpful for those of you that live in a colder area. Show the gardens during the winter. Now we're in the summer, and it's not that critical, but next October, November, consider that. But again, just get a bulletin board. We bought one from IKEA. It's a sandwich board. It's a dry erase, a chalk on one side. I just bring it to the open house, and I take 15 to 20 pictures. and it's really something different that the buyers haven't seen at other places. Why am I not playing the slide? Just showing me. Okay, so advertise online. Most of our multiple listing services allow us to post open houses for free. Put it on Craigslist. Put it on your Facebook account. Now, don't be obnoxious and say, I'm super real estate agent. Just say, hey, I have the tremendous opportunity to sit in the Barrett Downs neighborhood this afternoon. Stop by and see me if you have any real estate related questions. Okay.
Now, have you? Hey, Mike, have you done any Facebook ads to?
I have not run
like
any
a zip
Facebook
code,
ads.
something like that? Okay. Okay.
Some agents are doing it, having some good effect. They're specifically targeting on Facebook. For those of you that haven't done this, you can target specific ages, income levels, education levels, and zip codes.
Zip codes, yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
that'd be
so
a great idea.
you could do it very effective.
Yeah.
Test it and see if it works. Okay.
Yeah.
Now, my favorite thing to do is I knock on doors. And depending on the size of the community, I'll either do the whole community or 25 doors. 2 weeks ago, I listed a for sale by owner. I knocked on the 77 doors. It was really odd because of the 77, 38 people were home.
Wow.
I've never had that on a Friday afternoon before, but they were all elderly. And what this was a neighborhood that was almost a retirement community because 2/3 of the houses were single-level ranches, and children had bought these houses for their parents to live in. So it was sort of interesting, but I got 2 good leads by knocking on the doors, one for a property management account and one for a person that was thinking for sale by owner, and she says in July she's going to be listing it with me now. Okay, so
nice.
What an opportunity to go and knock on the door. What do you say? You just say, hey, I wanted to invite you. I listed the house, or I'm hosting an open house down the street this Sunday from 2 to 5. It's got a pool in this particular case. It's in really great condition. It's priced to sell at $229. I expect it will sell within the next week. Do you know of anybody thinking of moving into the neighborhood?
Right.
Okay, not a high-pressure call. They see that I'm out working. You know, what other agents are knocking doors on Friday afternoons? Now, if you don't knock on doors or you don't get the opportunity, of course you could mail a postcard invitation, but they're more likely to come from a door knock or a simple invite on the door. You could knock, 1 to 2 and say, hey, I'm having it open also. Now, people love to help. If you ask them a question they want to answer, and you can ask them, hey, can you tell people you know about it? Could you avoid parking right in front of the house because we're going to have a lot of traffic? And then ask them if they have any questions about the market to open up the conversation. And my wife and my sister love having a drawing. And the drawing doesn't have to be big. $25 Starbucks card will get a lot of attention in the neighborhood. A lot of attention. People will come by. Post it on the MLS, stop by, enter a chance to win a $50 this or a $100 that. Now, on my little listings, that's not a big deal, but on a $400,000 listing, would I spend $50 to generate some excitement and enthusiasm? You bet. You bet. Yeah. And if I had a lender, I bet they share with that cost. I realize you guys are lenders, and I'm telling lenders to spend money and spend time, but I bet most of you are working with partners that are hardworking and are willing to do creative things with open houses with you. Okay?
Susan's asking a good question that fits right here. She says, do you do special neighbor open house, say between 11 and 1, prior to the actual open house of 2 to 4? It's a great idea.
I have not done it, but I think it's a terrific idea.
That's a great idea.
I've heard some of my clients call it the nosy neighbor.
There you go.
And they say, hey, we're gonna have wine and cheese Friday evening. Stop by.
Love that idea.
Okay, so that's it. Make sure you put your little smiley face, your star, you underline, you write this down. Contact all the old expireds and the for sale by owners in the neighborhood or in the same school district and tell them you're having an open house. You call the old expired and you say, hey, Scott, it's Mike Stott, and I'm hosting an open, and they're both in the Sewell Mills School District. It's a 4-bedroom. I noticed your house, you tried to sell it a year ago, and I'm going to generate a lot of excitement. If I find a buyer that's not interested in this house but might be interested in yours, Have you given any thought towards reselling or remarketing the house?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Right. I mean, either you're going to say yes or no.
Great.
Like, no, I'm not going to sell, or yes, I would, or yeah.
What I'd like to do is stop by tomorrow to take a look at it so I can talk about it intelligently to the buyers. I promise you there's no sell. It should only take 15 minutes. Don't worry about cleaning it, because I look at 10 to 15 houses every week, and it will be just me. And then you go meet that old expired or the for sale by owner face to face, belly to belly, shake their hand, show them you're doing service and that you're working. How many other agents that had an open house in the neighborhood or are listed in a neighborhood ever called an old expired or for sale by owner? None.
Yeah, probably.
They differentiate
Zero
you.
competition. Yeah,
okay.
For sure.
Put out lots of signs, guys. Lots of signs. I have one agent in California that puts out 70 signs. He pays two high school kids, and they're the little $5 signs that have his, open house, that's it, with an arrow. Lots of signs on Saturday. Why? It generates a lot of enthusiasm, and it generates traffic. I have never put more out than 10 signs, but that's a lot better than the 2 to 3 signs that I used to put out. And I get increased traffic. How do people find open houses today? They don't look in the Sunday paper, but if they're driving around, they're going to stop by if they're at all interested.
Absolutely.
This is my sister's tip. Put balloons out on the 3 signs closest to the house on Sunday morning. Okay. Balloons don't have to be expensive. We buy them at the Dollar Tree. So I'll buy 6 balloons. I'll spend a whopping $6. I'll buy a thing of cookies and a couple bottles of water or lemonade. I spend about $10, and it's all at the Dollar Tree. I put it out on a nice plate, nice cups, and you put it out. And you get the balloons out. There's something about those Mylar balloons flashing in the sun. It's like a fishing lure in the water. The shiny moving objects attract people. I don't know why, but I get more traffic when I put the balloons out. If anybody has a theory, let me know, other than the fishing lure. Okay?
Yep.
Post on Craigslist and Facebook the morning of the open house. Invite your friends and your buyers. Use your social media. Okay? Get there early and stage the home. My sister carries a spray bottle of Febreze. She says it's the best stuff for eliminating odors. Make sure you have lots of lights. She'll actually bring a couple of extra lights in case there's a dark room. Make sure you bring a chair to sit on if it's a vacant house. That's what my sister does. I'll tell you why I don't sit down in a minute. And be prepared to put away some clutter if you need to. I'm always amazed. I tell the owners, don't leave your watches out, don't leave jewelry out, don't leave cash out. 2 open houses ago, I sat, somebody had $500 sitting on their desk drawer.
Crazy.
It's like, I'm good, but I can't watch everybody, and that's just too much of a temptation.
Right.
So remove the clutter and the temptation, and that's something you might tell them as to what to expect. Okay, how do you get people to sign in? My favorite is I use my iPad, and I use Open Home Pro. For those of you that haven't used it, it's a simple little product. You use your picture of the property, and it asks for their name and their email address, and it verifies the email address right there. So they log in, and they put in a fake email address. It says, please use a real email address. It emails them a thank you note automatically and puts you in touch with them. And everybody sort of likes having, playing with the iPad. I don't know why.
Right.
It also works on your Android and all those things. But it's either free or $4.99. It's cheap. I just downloaded it. It's free. I can't find one that's paid, but this looks awesome, man. Yeah, and so use it, and you'll be able to get more sign-ins. Okay. And if you don't have it, you can always use the pencil and the pad and say, please sign in. And here's a question you get is, how aggressively do you require people to sign in? And if you get on a lot of these Facebook groups that we're a part of, you'll have people that will be passionate saying, I will escort them physically from the property if they don't sign in. Well, I'm not that way. I will get it from 8 out of 10 people that come in. I will say, hey, my owners really want me to be able to follow up with potential buyers. If you have the name of your real estate agent, I can take that down. I promise you I won't hound them. But, some people just protect themselves, and they're not going to sign in. But you will get more if you use a program like Open Home Pro. Okay? I have a picture of sprinkly donuts. Do not serve things that can stain the carpet or the floors or that you're going to be cleaning up. Okay? I don't like those crumbly cookies. I tend to like small cookies that they can put in their mouth at one time, like the famous Amos chocolate chip cookies or Oreos tend to be what I get because I like both of them. I have a sweet tooth. Serve drinks. Cold water and lemonade tend to be what I serve. But make sure, again, they don't stain the carpet. It encourages people to stay and have a conversation, especially if they have a child that they're dragging around with them. Giving a child some water or lemonade and a cookie, you've got a friend for life. Now, Tommy Hopkins used to train. For those of you that have been around a long time ago, he used to train and say, buy 2 pints of ice cream with no spoons and say, give these people, hey, thanks for coming by. Here's a pint of ice cream, with the idea that they'd have to go straight home and not look anywhere else, or else the ice cream would melt. Okay? You're going to be a great salesperson. And a great salesperson, I don't care who they are, always had an enthusiasm, and they were cheerful, and they asked for the business. Now, your enthusiasm doesn't have to be mine, the rah-rah cheerleader type, but your enthusiasm can be the quiet, confident, Bob Newhart style. Okay, if you look at different types of comedy, I'm probably more the Will Ferrell. Some of you are probably more Bob Newhart. Both are effective. Both can make a lot of money, but you got to be cheerful. You have to be pleasant. And you have to ask for the business. I always say ask one additional question than you're comfortable with. So you're at the open house, and they're getting ready to leave, and it's obviously been a house that's of interest with them. You can ask them this question. Some of you might want to write it down. What price would make this house too good of a deal to pass up? What price would make this home too good of a deal to pass up? Okay? When you ask that additional question, you have just gone from the realm of open house sitter to professional salesperson. And that question may not be the right one for everybody, but ask one additional question. What specifically are you looking for that this home doesn't have? If somebody's in and out real quickly. Okay? Ask that one additional question, and you'll be amazed at the conversations you get into. Because most salespeople stop, and they don't ask that sales question. Okay? I have to stand up, and I'm going to admit something here. I was probably 28 or 29, and I'm a high-energy go guy. And if I sit down, and there's music on, and the house smells good, and it's quiet, I fall asleep. It's just, I go to sleep. So I do not sit down at open houses and do.
Oh, there we go. You're back. Okay, we lost you for a
great.
second.
Internet thing. I think it was your end. So here's what happened to me, actually. I was sitting at an open house. It was a warm Hawaii Sunday afternoon. I had a couple of cookies, a little bit of lemonade, and I sit down and I'm reading my good book. And the next thing I feel a poke in my side, and a little boy is saying, "Mom, is he dead?" True story. Okay, so I recommend stand up and greet each attendee with this question. How long have you owned in this neighborhood? And they're going to say, oh, we don't own. We're just new to the area. We rent. You're going to start that conversation. And if they say, oh, I don't live here, you say, yet, with a big smile. And then you can go on to other questions. Do you own or rent now? How much are you paying? What made you come out and look at this house? and just ask 3 to 4 standard questions to get the conversation going. Do show them around. Okay, it doesn't mean you go and you say, this is the kitchen. Well, they already know what the kitchen is. But you could ask them a question. Were you looking for gas appliances or do you prefer electric?
There you go.
Okay, the master bathroom. Hey, look at that water fountain next to the toilet. Have you ever used one like that? For those of you who don't laugh, that's a bidet. But in Hawaii, I never saw one. The first time I ever saw one, I thought it would be a great water fountain for your dog or your cat or something. So do show them around, ask them questions. Hey, you notice the tray ceilings? Is that a touch that you like in your master bedroom? Okay, or this or that, or you could point things out. Like the house I just sold had a big walk-in closet that had extra storage sort of hidden away in a cedar-lined closet. You know, I just wanted you to be aware there's a cedar-lined closet back in the master bedroom closet as you're walking in the master bedroom, so they look at it. So ask those questions. Work with them. Use a drawing. We talked about this to get everyone to sign in and give full contact information. Most of our clients like a great gift basket. Okay, so they put a bottle of wine in, they put some crackers, you know, some candy, they get a basket, they wrap it up, they tie a balloon on it, and you can give it there. We were good friends in Hawaii with Wally Famous Amos, the chocolate chip cookie guy. He went to church with us, and we did, you know, some business together. And when he opened his new cookie business after Famous Amos, he opened a shop. He actually came to an open house and cooked cookies with me. Now, it was an expensive $1 million plus listing, but he cooked cookies all afternoon and was there. More people stopped by to see him, including a news crew that showed him cooking cookies and then took them to his new store, but showed the house for sale also on my sign. So who's a local celebrity that you could get for endorsement values, or a local restaurant or local food from a restaurant? The reason why my wife likes gift baskets is you can deliver it to them if they win at the end of the open house the next day, and if they don't sign in, they can't win. Just an idea. Okay, in case it's slow, sometimes an open house is slow, bring a list of prospects and hot leads to follow up with when you have those slow times, or even just your past client center of influence list. Tell them you're at an open house. If somebody walks in, I'm going to have to get off the phone quickly. I'll call you right back. If they're for sale by owner, how's your open house going? We're not having one. Oh, interesting. Okay. Let them know the hot leads you're working today and say, hey, you know, if you have a free chance, I think this house is comparable to yours in competition. You might want to stop by. There's a thought. Get a for sale by owner to come see you.
There you go.
Come see you. Leave a nice note for the owners of the house, letting them know how it went, and give them appropriate feedback. Now, I have poor handwriting, so this takes me some time. So I plan on being there an extra 15 minutes, because 10 minutes of it's going to be writing down the results of the open house. Okay, we had 3 potential buyers come by, 4 other lookers that were neighbors. Everybody commented on how nice your blank was, or people really like this or that. I put 2 of them in touch with the loan officer that was here sitting with me. I'll call tomorrow and follow up with them and let you know what positive we have coming from it. Thank you so much for allowing me to host your open house. Okay, a nice note. That stops them from calling you and saying what happened at the open house.
Here's a great question from Melinda. Thanks for being here, Melinda.
Okay.
She says, how do you handle multiple visitors if you're showing guests around?
Okay, and that's a hard point. That's why if you know it's going to be busy, if you're in a hot market, bring a partner. Bring a new agent, bring a lender, and you can use that partner in several ways. You can have them show around and you stay and greet. You can pay them if you want, or you can have them have the opportunity to get a buyer lead, or work with somebody that doesn't want to buy the house. You can do all sorts of different things. With the lender, you can have them do the check-in and you show around. But sometimes it's even hotter than that. You may even want a third person. In the past, when I've had a third person, I pay one of my assistants at the office to come sit with me. So it's a Sunday afternoon. I have 3 assistants I can choose from. Hey, I'll pay you $50 if you come sit the open house for 2.5 hours with me.
Right on. Perfect.
And it's a nice way to get to know them outside the office in a little more depth. Now, one of them is my daughter, so I know her, but the other one's not, so you can get to know her better. Okay? And that's it's a great question. If you're going to be in a really hot area, you need to have open houses, and you're going to meet these buyers, and you should be able to entice another agent, a loan officer, or an assistant to sit with you. I know at the KW office, they're in growth mode right now, and every week there's 3 or 4 agents saying, I want to host an open house. Who has one for me? And that's it. So here's the goal, is you got to remember, what's the goal for your particular open house? Is it merely to keep the seller happy? Okay?
Yeah.
And if it's merely to keep the seller happy,
one
I would
of the things.
Yeah, one of the things, you might want to reconsider your pricing strategy and have a price reduction conversation. Now, this is not for the unusual house or the unique house or the expensive house, but if you have a subdivision or a townhouse and it's been on the market for 30 days and you're holding an open house to keep the seller happy, it might not be keeping them happy because you might not sell the house till the price gets lower. So what we do in this case is we do a fair trade item. I'll host the open house this Sunday. I'll invite all the agents to it. I'll do this, 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 and this if you'll agree to lower the price from $329 to $309 or whatever it is. Okay? Are you using it to get them to have the house really nice and staged? I've held open houses before to light a fire under some sellers that take forever to get the house ready to get sold.
Great
Anybody
point.
on the call ever have somebody that says, oh, they'll paint that bedroom, they should get it done next week? Well, they didn't get it done, and you say, hey, look, I'd like to host an open house this Sunday. Can you get it done this week? That could be a goal, to have it staged and really nice. Is it to find a buyer for the house? In a lot of our hotter markets, in the seller's markets, hey, you might as well not accept offers till you've had the chance to find the buyer yourself, so long as you can do dual agency in your office or designated agency. Okay? Or is the goal to find a buyer for another house? Okay? Oftentimes, I've held an open house, so I list a really great property Wednesday. I schedule the open house for Sunday. On Friday, I get 2 great offers. Do you still sit the open house? If I've got nothing else to do, I will, because I'm going to try to find buyers for other houses. They come in and they say, hey, I'm sorry, this one sold already. We accepted an offer this morning, but I had so many people saying to come by, I didn't want to disappoint them. But here's what I know is there were 2 old expireds that are for sale by owner in the neighborhood. Are you looking in the neighborhood, or what are you looking for? Okay.
Hey, what about, and I'm a big one about writing small checks to cash big checks. And for me, I think, 1, making the seller happy, getting more people to come and see the home. 2, getting to know the neighbors, because that's just more possible leads with face-to-face relationships. Why not? Have you ever done a cookout, like neighborhood cookout, open?
I have one client in Southern California whose brother owns a taco truck, a fish taco truck.
Beautiful. Ice cream truck, taco truck, yeah.
Yeah, he pays the brother $200, and he says free fish tacos for the first 100, fish tacos.
Wow, wow.
And he sits out front, and everybody in the neighborhood comes.
Oh, wow, yeah, heck yeah.
How about you get the ice cream man to come and park, and you give $1 ice cream away to 100 people?
Even if you know what, and I'm thinking, I go farther than that. It's like, okay, do I even need an open house to get to know the neighborhood by doing something like that? You don't. I mean, you could literally build a database. So for all the new agents or agents that are struggling a little bit, it's all about relationship marketing, right? It's all about our database. So how do you build database? How do you farm an area? How do you get to know people? Open house is one way, and in somebody else's listing if you don't have any listings. 2 is, man, why not put a ice cream truck, like run the ice cream truck up and down the road, and you gotta I don't know, sign in to have a drawing to get a free ice cream cone. You know what I mean? Or a cookout or taco truck or all that fun stuff.
Here's what you know, and the coaches at Your Coaching Matter, we know real estate is not a science. It's an art form. And different parts of the country are going to do different things. Different agents are going to do different things. But when you can be enthusiastic and you can be cheerful and you can be passionate about whatever 1 or 2 or 5 of these tips that you want to use, it's going to increase your business because that shows through. Okay,
no
so are you going to meet potential sellers? Okay, here's a script, and then we'll open it up for questions if you have any.
Right.
Is, you know, if you're calling through the neighborhood, because for many of us, we're busy. You know, if you're selling 40, 50, 60, 100 deals a year, you might not have the time to go door knocking or even get the postcards out unless you have the assistant. But hi, I'm Donna with Northwest Atlanta Properties. We have a neighbor's home for sale, and we're actively looking for a buyer for that home. We often find that someone in the neighborhood knows someone who might want to move in. Who do you know that might want to move into our area? And you'll get no one or how much is the home most of the time. Then you thank them for thinking about them, give them the price, give them the bedrooms and baths and the details, tell them it's going to be open Sunday from 2 to 5, and you hope to meet them there. They just have to see the tile work that this guy's done. And then before you get off the phone, you know, when one home sells in a neighborhood, very often another one sells soon after because of the additional activity. Who do you know in the area that may want or need to sell? Nobody. Well, how about you? When do you plan your next move?
Hey, here's what I don't understand, Mike. So, like, when a new listing goes up in a neighborhood, what typically happens all the time? Other homes get listed, right?
Yes.
And a lot of times not by the same agent. So wouldn't it benefit you if you had a new listing in a neighborhood to walk the neighborhood, share, like maybe put together a nice flyer, introduce yourself and say, hey, I just want to let you know this property is listed. Here's the information on it. If you'd like any information on the local area, I'm more than happy to give it to you. Or give them local information about the area. Like the more you know how when you give something of value, the law of reciprocity kicks in, and they go, oh, cool, and here's my card if you have any more questions, or that's gonna. I guarantee you would get at bats with more listings in the neighborhood because I see it every time.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah.
And it's all about, you can't help it. When you're doing this and you're coming from the spirit of contribution and you're cheerful and you're enthusiastic, whether it's rah-rah or, Bob Newhart, and you're doing all that and you're passionate, if you talk to 50 people, you're going to get a good solid lead.
You're going to get a lead. No question.
And that's just it. You can't. Just the law of averages that if you talk to, I was doing a survey over the weekend. It was from Baylor University, and Keller Williams sponsored the survey in 2011, I believe. And they said true cold calling, 209 calls to get an appointment. But of the 209, 150 were bad numbers or no answers, and they got into 59 conversations. And those 59 conversations led to a listing appointment. Okay?
Wow.
So if you talk to 50 people in a neighborhood, it's impossible for one of them not to be thinking about buying or selling. And the key to finding it out is being that great salesperson, being energetic, coming from the spirit of contribution, and asking the right questions at the right time. And some people, you're going to have to build a relationship for a long time until they trust you. I have a story. I took a listing. We had it shown. I had it for 3 months. It was back when the Atlanta market was bad. We finally got an offer, and they finally sat down to present the offer, and they told me, we now feel like we can trust you. We haven't made a payment on this house in 9 months. We're going to have to do a short sale. I had listed the property, and it took them 3 months before I earned their trust.
Yeah.
Okay, some people
Absolutely.
take longer. And that's why you want to be doing the follow-up, so you meet people and they say, well, we're not thinking about moving for a while. Well, you send them a nice thank you card and a couple of business cards, and all of a sudden they call you out of the blue and you get that gift from heaven They say, hey, come list me. You were nice when I saw you, and you looked like you were working hard 3 months ago when you were door knocking. And that's what we want to sell our house.
Yeah.
Any other questions? I mean, that's sort of what I have in 45 minutes, but we're open for questions, comments, concerns, illusions.
Here's Ronnie. Thanks for being here, Ronnie. He says, great information. I just held an open house this past Saturday. Great turnout, 7 to 8 potential leads. What's the best way to follow up with those clients? It was a $500,000 home.
You marry them. No.
Absolutely, dude. No, and you're for real. You courtship them until they do business with you.
You earn their trust by giving them great follow-up and giving them more than they expect. So, hey, you know, you saw this house. I have to tell you, we had 4 or 5 people that were really interested in it. If you have more questions or you want another house like this, I'd love to earn your business and represent you. And you send them that card. You leave that message on the phone.
Yeah. Donna, I think just, you know, consistent follow-up. I don't think I think you have to, people think, this is just my opinion, Mike, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, but people think they always got to have a business conversation with them if they're looking to buy a home. And I think just calling to say, hey, how was the, you know, like right today would be a great call to go, hey, I just thought you were in that open house and you guys were, you know, awesome to talk to if you talk to them. Or even if you didn't talk to them, just say, hey, thanks for stopping by the open house. I just wanted to check in, see how you guys are doing. Did you have a good weekend? And then you talk frog, family, recreation, occupation, and goals. Build a deep relationship with them. Talk to them like they're a friend, and amazing things will happen, you know? That would be my recommendation.
It's not just a recommendation. It's a reality. And I don't think anybody on the call that's been in the business for 5 years, you know, or so can't speak to the advantage of doing the follow-up, earning their trust, providing great service, and then having a smooth transaction.
And there's somebody on here, and I don't remember who it was, I apologize, but she says, we're not allowed to put up signs in our area. And my suggestion was Facebook ads to the zip code and walk the neighborhood. Walk the neighborhood before, during, after, all the time. Do the ice cream truck, the taco truck, anything to get activity to build relationships. Is really, I guess what I like to say is we're not in real estate. We're in marketing to our database. We're in building relationships, period, and then the real estate comes with it.
Right. Well, you know, and all these skills you can transfer if you want to sell life insurance or cars or, you know, be a good parent or any of that. This all just comes from the spirit of contribution and providing value and being that great person that you guys all are. Now, on that last question, I will have some people, some agents, will say if it's a community association, that's one thing, but if it's like a local ordinance, people put signs out on Sunday afternoon and make sure they pick them up because none of the city and county people work on Sunday anyway.
That's right.
I'm not advocating that. I'm just telling you what some of my clients might do anyways.
Yeah. Here's my answer to this one, and you might have a different one, Mike, but Melinda asked, how long do you follow up with leads? I put until they buy, die, or tell you to get lost. Right. Build the relationship. I'm into building the relationship. So, and it's not just one person anymore. With social media, one person could be, I mean, if every one person has a minimum, I think it's 223 friends on Facebook, so you cut it in half, cut it in half again. Everybody has 25 friends on their Rolodex on their phone that they would literally call and have a 10-minute conversation with. So it's not just one person that you're following up with. It's a potential person that has a ton of friends, family, and coworkers. So
my wife says it this way. If 1 out of every 11 families move and half of them are buying, that means every person you talk to that knows 22 other families knows somebody that's going to be buying or selling in the next year.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's just the law of averages.
Yep.
And she says, you know, we'll actually look at the database. We'll value a contact, a past client, and we'll say that over their lifespan, they can buy and sell and buy and refer 7 deals to us. And so each person, and at our average, you know, at $6,000 a deal, that's $42,000. Treat each one of your contacts as $42,000, and I think they'll treat them a little bit better than we might. So how long do you follow up for $42,000? A long
time. Here's a good one, man, and I'll let you answer it, and I'll answer it too. So I know this is crazy. Norman, I appreciate the call, or appreciate the question, but I pull in so many people, I can't reel them all in. How do I manage following up with all the people? I got an easy answer for that one.
Scott, you go first.
All right. So I would say I always like to go, okay, what is the best use of my time? And if you can't handle all the leads, I know a lot of people that would be more than happy to do it for you, like as far as hiring somebody to do whatever it is you need to do. And either that or farm out everything else if you're except for the depending on how your follow up. It could be email, it could be phone call. We have a system where we do email a month and then phone call every 3 months, and depending on if they're hot, it would be every day. But so I would absolutely positively hire somebody, and it's not about what it's going to cost you to hire somebody to do that. It's what it's going to cost you not to hire that person.
Right.
So you don't look at, okay, it's going to cost me. Yeah.
If you ever hire an assistant or an employee and they're not a profit center, you're doing something wrong.
Exactly. They should bring you money, not cost you money.
Well, not only do they bring you money, but they free you up so that you can bring the business money.
Correct.
So I have two great assistants sitting right outside my office right now. They can hear me. They're waving at me. We tried to soundproof my new office, but the glass door doesn't soundproof it. But I have two great assistants, but I can pay them enough money so that I can go do $200 an hour work.
Absolutely.
Okay?
Absolutely.
Other agents would say, hire a buyer's agent and refer all the buyer leads to them on a 60-40 split. You keep 60, they keep 40, or you keep 40 and they keep 60, depending on what you do and how you do it. Then all of a sudden, your job is to coach them to make sure they're doing good follow-up and providing great service, and so that those buyers will thank you for putting you in touch with that assistant. That becomes your job, but it becomes a way to not have to handle all those leads.
Yes. So a lot of people are asking, how do we get the replay? How do you get the PowerPoint? There's Mike's been on with us a couple weeks ago.
I'll send you the PowerPoint, and I'll send you the Excel.
Yep. So contact the loan professional that sent you the invite to the class, and he'll get you the last 8 of the classes, PowerPoints, anything that Mike has thrown at us, anything that anybody else has thrown at us, you'll have access to. So I appreciate you guys being here. Let's see. Hey, here's a good one, Mike. What CRM system do you use to follow up with? Or do you use a CRM system?
We use Wise Agent, which is an online.
Okay.
There's 50 out there that are great. Top Producer, Market Leader, Realty Juggler. I'm sure I'm forgetting 5 or 6 others that our clients use. The best CRM is the one that you'll use every day.
Yeah.
That's it.
There you go. It doesn't matter which one it is.
You have to use one.
Use it.
I'm telling you, no joke. You don't get a CRM, you might as well get out of the business, because you'll never create a business that's sellable or duplicatable until you can prove it to other people.
Yeah, and here's the thing: is like whatever you don't do or are not doing, put someone in place to do just that. Like, for example, if you know you won't run your CRM system, hire somebody just to run your CRM system, and hire them to do other stuff. But if somebody came in every day for an hour, and people are on this call going, there's no way someone would work for an hour a day. Well, if you put the ad out there, say I need somebody an hour a day to run my CRM system, and somebody answers that ad, guess what? That's what they need, or that's what they want. That's what they have time for. So don't cut yourself short when you say nobody will work for an hour a day, because maybe they know that if they're really good at other stuff, that is their foot in the door with a top producer. And if they, again, it's the whole mindset there.
Underestimate the creativity of other people. I have a bookkeeper that I pay for 4 hours a month.
Yes.
That's all she needs.
Yes, that's it.
She bookkeeps for other people also. But I consider that an advantage. So she comes into my office for 2 hours, and then she does 2 hours remote. She charges me $96 an hour or something like that. Pay her $400 a month. It's the best money I spend, because I'm with her for 2 hours, but it frees me up for 5 or 6 hours.
Absolutely. And if you have people in your office, Yeah, exactly. I don't do it right. And if I miss a day, guess what? Now I'm a day behind, and then next week I miss a day. So, what if, I mean, if you're in an office with a bunch of people and get 7 or 8 people to go together, and like you could each have that person come in for an hour each, and they got a full-time job, and all they did was CRM system, it would be that would totally, absolutely, positively make you money. Because now you're sending out the emails. You could even have them, we did a phone burner class, which we probably need to do again, how to use phone burner to connect with a person every, I don't know if you use phone burner, Mike, or something similar to that.
I know the guy who wrote it is Chad Wilson.
Yeah.
So
yeah. Amazing program. So, hey, Mike, I sincerely appreciate you being here. I know you're busy. I know you need to get out of here. Thanks so much for sharing the open house strategy you have. I heard rumors that you're going to be back on the 16th of June. I believe it's the 16th, to show us your expired, how to market to expireds and land expireds.
And we sold,
I don't know, course?
100 plus copies of the FSBO course.
Yeah,
we had about 25 or 30 people say, what do you have for the expireds? And I said, well, in fact, I've just rewritten it and updated it, and you guys will be real excited. Just a sneak 30 seconds on it is FSBOs are my passion. I love them. But I have a woman from Philadelphia who coaches with us that does 38 for the last 9 years. She's averaged selling 38 expireds a year.
38 expireds. That's amazing.
She'll be on the webinar also telling us what she does. So it's going to be a good one.
She'll be on with us?
Yeah.
Oh, gee, I didn't even. So June 16th. Put that in your calendars if you want to know how to market to expireds. We're going to have somebody that actually has landed 36 expired listings every year for a long time. So that's great news, man. Appreciate that.
Go get it,
buddy.
guys.
I know you got to go. All right. Thanks so much, everybody. Thanks so much, Mike. I appreciate you being here. And if you're joining us for the first time and you're not part of our Facebook group, it's facebook.com/groups/agent mastermind. And you just got to be an agent to get in. It's an awesome group, a lot of interaction. And just know if you ask questions inside the group that only people inside the group see the question, not your friends and family, so don't have to worry about it. Don't be shy. We can't help you if you don't ask the question. So, again, I appreciate everybody here. Appreciate being part of your life, and honored to be a part of your life. And, Mike, thank you again, and we'll see you same time, same place next week on Agent Mastermind. Everybody, take care. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.